Hey, how you doing today? Today, I am off work. I'm still working full time, and now I'm having a few days off from my regular schedule. And I was about to sit here in front of my computer and play some World of Warcraft Classic, and I thought, we haven't made a video for a couple of days, so let's make a video first. All right, we'll make a short video. And I looked at my list of videos to make on my phone as I write things down as I go along. And oh yeah, college. Is it worth it to get a college degree? That's a good subject I want to talk about. The question is it a good deal for you to go to college and get a 2 or 4 year degree to get a job with? And years ago, the answer was yes. Now I would say the answer is it depends. Yeah, it depends. Depends what you're going for education, how long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost, and what you intend to do with this. And most importantly, does the job have a good paycheck for it? Now, you've all heard one of the LoudMouthTim rules for life is almost as good and a whole lot cheaper. Another one I've said from time to time is MMM, Mo Money for Me. But here is another one of the LoudMouthTim rules for life that you should keep in mind in regards to a college degree and any possible jobs. And the rule is, if it ain't paying, I ain't playing. So, some examples. Now, if you want to go to college to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, then yes, you do need to be in there and learn all the stuff that's involved. But I have been through college myself and some other schools, and I've seen and heard a lot of stories from people about they spent all this money to get a degree and it never worked out good for them. I was just watching a video on YouTube about people being laid off from their jobs and going to one of these big Amazon fulfillment centers where they work you to death, and do not treat you well. And I wrote this down. The guy who had just started a job there at the Amazon fulfillment center doing, manual labor work, he had a degree in French literature. Someone tells me you got a degree in French literature. You idiot. How stupid are you? What were you thinking to get a degree in French literature? What are you going to do with that? Where are you going to get a job? Most importantly, who is going to pay you a good paycheck for your degree in French literature? Oh. As my dad used to say, no sense being dumb if you ain't going to show it. I heard that quite a few times over the years. Anyhow, I went through the same thing myself. Way back when I was out of the military and going to college, I had to pick, okay, what am I going to go to college for? At the time, the internet was beginning, but it wasn't what it is today. It wasn't even close to what it is today. And so I had done computer stuff at home in high school. And if I had known then what I know now, I would have gone to college for computer work and, technical computer things. As it was, I went to college for business administration, which at the time seemed like a good a choice as any. People had asked me, what are you going to go to college for? And I said, business administration. And what are you going to learn in that? All I could ever say was, I don't know, business. That was the best answer I had. Oh, boy, what a waste of time that was. What really aggravated me, though, was not so much the business courses themselves. I did learn some things there, but ultimately, I don't think I ever got a job anywhere near what the degree was for. But all the side classes they make you take, the biggest problem I had was you had to go through college Algebra 1 was the math requirement for it. And my head does not work that way. I'm not an algebra kind of person because right from the start, I thought, okay, I'm going to be getting some sort of a business job. How often am I going to need to use algebra? much less college level algebra in this job? And I felt the answer was nearly never, if ever. I said, well, this course is useless. I'm not going to waste my time on this thing here. And so right from the start, I had the huge mental block. This course means nothing. I'll never use it. It's a waste of time to even think about it. So I had a hard time getting through the college algebra 1 requirement. I had to take the class 5 times. I dropped out of it a couple of times when it was clear I wasn't going to pass. And finally, I'm done on one of my last semesters, and I had to explain it all to the teacher, and he gave me some extra stuff to do and let me get through with a D minus just to get the requirement out of the way. So, okay, that worked out, kind of. But what a waste of time that was. Now, algebra, I had it in my head, I'm never going to use this. It's pointless to learn it. But the word problems, I was really good at. Like, if a train leaves New York at 50 miles an hour and a train leaves Los Angeles at 60 miles an hour and they have to travel 3,000 miles to meet, how many hours will that take? Matt, answer, I got it right now, done. That is so easy for me to do. No problem at all. But then they would say, show us with algebra. What difference does that make? I got the answer. Don't worry about how I got it. It's the right answer. Focus on that part. So it was no wonder that I had a hard time with the algebra classes. I had one of those Texas Instruments programmable calculators, and I would spend hours filling it up with all the things in my math book to remember this on the test. This is how you do this. This is the formula. And even with all that, I would still fail those tests. Oh, I was always one of the lowest scoring people in the class with that algebra 1. Anyhow, enough of algebra. How was this here? Alumni quad. You should have majored in deluxe beef stroganoff. Yeah, well, that's a specialty item. He's referring to my Cooking with Tim episode, number 2, where I made hamburger helper. Over here in the comments, the live comments. Anyhow, I had to think about what am I going to go to college for, and more importantly, what kind of a job am I going to get out of it? And it was, at the time, you don't know. Hindsight is 2020. You can look back and, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done this, and right through to a good paying job. Yeah, now I know that. Yeah, but when you're in your early to mid 20s and you have to make these decisions, But what I really don't like about college these days is they're jacking the rates, they're jacking their prices, they charge you a fortune for books, and I am not happy about that. I don't know all the details about how they handle the college books these days, but they charge you $100 or hundreds of dollars for a book, and then give you nothing for it upon return at the end of the semester. Man, if it was me, I would find a way to get a copy of that book for each class and get it for free, or pay someone a few bucks to copy their book or something like that. Because the scam on the college books is a lot of the stuff doesn't change year to year. They'll put different subjects in different chapters and stuff, so make it different. So you have to get the new book to keep up. So I'm onto their scams. I know how it works. I've learned about it. Jim Duggan, hi, how you doing? How about those college graduates you see on Leno and Kimmel that can't even point to the USA on a map? Yeah, there's a lot of stupid people out there, Jim. I've met a lot of them over the years. So I have heard about people going to college for social work or an English course. In some cases, an English course is good, but you have to think, where am I going to end up with this? What's the point of going to college to get a $30,000 job? I've watched a lot of the Dave Ramsey videos, and he has people on all the time. They spend $150,000 for a degree to get a job that'll pay them $70,000. They have to pay for a house, their credit cards, their utilities, their car, their kids, their food. And how are they going to pay off the student loan? Yeah, well, like I said, hindsight's 2020. You have to think about it and get the best information going in to make the best choice. what did I want to tell you on here? There was something else I wanted to make a point of. Oh, yeah. Way back after I got out of college, I went to Penn State University here near where I live. And at the time, the college did not have a 4-year business degree on this campus. It was only a 2-year degree. So I went for a 2-year degree. I figured, hey, that's good enough. I learned enough things. I have the degree, and I'll go get a job off of that. No, not really. I don't think I ever had a business administration related job. Do I think my college degree helped me get other jobs? I don't know. It might have. I'm sure it didn't hurt, but how much did it help? I couldn't tell you. A few years after I got out of the Penn State College, I'd seen a commercial on TV for one of those fly-by-night for-profit schools, and they had an office here in Pittsburgh. And at the time, I didn't know any better. But hey, I'm sitting around doing nothing. The college degree didn't get me anything. Let's call this place. Let's go down there and get some kind of computer training. Because now it was 2001, and I'm coming up in computer work myself. I have my own PCs at home, and I'm handling my own problems. And let's go try this. Now, from my second semester in that computer school, I had a class on HTML programming. And before I had this class, I thought, well, making a website, you got to know all these things. And how do you even host it? And how do you get it to the host servers? And how do you make your pages? But in the course of this one HTML class, I went from knowing nothing to being one of the best ones in the class. Now, I was not dealing with a bunch of programming geniuses. So, being the best one in my class, that's not saying a whole lot. But still, it gave me a lot of ideas to work with and think about and to build on. Okay, if I can do this, I can do that. What else do I need to know? And that is when, if you look at the original source code for the homepage of the website, LoudMouthTim.com, it shows in there, first HTML code written August 23, 2002. And from that, I started building the thing up and making the pages and got it going after that. What's this right here? You're writing there, Jim. Yes, all colleges or minor high schools. Yeah. Nowadays, a lot of colleges, they're in it for the money. They charge you so much money for everything, and they put all these requirements on what you have to do. Yeah. When I was in my computer school, I had looked at their list of course requirements to get their big degree, which I never did. And one of them was a 5-credit English course. And every semester that I was there, I would have to go in and fight with the administrator to skip the pointless classes and take the computer-related classes. What do I need I'm here to learn computer stuff. What am I going to waste my time in an English class for? And they always get you. We want to offer a well-rounded education. So, yeah, what that means is you stay in their school longer, you take more classes, you pay them more money, they make more profit, and you get useless information to show for it. That's what a well-rounded education means, especially nowadays. Yeah, Jim Duggan, the whole joke of Bangor, Maine, and Bagnor, Maine. There's one of Archie Luxury's viewers is a doctor from Bangor, Maine, but Archie always says Bagnor instead of Bangor. That's the running joke there. So anyhow, looking back, would I have done things different in college? Oh boy, I would have done things so much differently. I couldn't even tell you where I'd start from. Had I gone in for computer work in the first place, and not wasting my time with a business degree, which was just about useless. Well, now you know. I got through college when it wasn't too expensive. Nowadays, the prices are going up, and if you're an out-of-state student going in, you pay a whole lot more money. Say, well, if I was starting to go to college now, with my LoudMouthTim state of mind, I would be scamming it and scheming it and working the system to get as much as I could for as little as possible. You know, find a way to be an in-state resident and pay a whole lot less. copy someone else's books, grab one from somewhere, use it and give it back. Anything to save money on this whole scam of education these days. It's a business. You look at the charts you can find for how much the cost of education is going up and how much the average salaries from jobs they're going up a little bit, but nowhere near as much as the cost of the education. So I've known a lot of people over the years who made a decent career for themselves without college. Entrepreneurs, they can start their own small business, they get it up and running for themselves, and they can do just fine. So if you're going to go to college, you have a really good reason in mind for going to college. It's a career field you have to go to college for. That is doctors, lawyers, engineers, something like that. Don't go like this one guy here who got a degree in French literature. I find it hard not to laugh in his face. So how'd you like throwing away all that money? English degrees. I've known people who use English degrees and do tech writing or other skilled stuff, and I've seen people who have English degrees and are doing some job that has nothing to do with any kind of a good like a newspaper reporter who makes very little money per article. So I'm sure it's easy. What's this here? Jim Duggan, Tim, stop it. You're scaring us. You're like the reality check inner voice everybody has that everybody wants to avoid listening to. Yeah? You're right, Jim. Now, way back, I wish I knew then what I know now. We can all say that. If I had known then, I would have done this. Well, hopefully, viewers in the single digits. Yeah, people don't want hygiene. Nobody wants to hear the truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be listening. So, yeah, if you're going to go to college for anything, you really have to think about it ahead of time. And don't just go off what they say, we're going to give you a well-rounded education and you're going to experience all these things and get into a fraternity and meet friends and have a wonderful life. Forget all that stuff. What kind of job are you going to get that pays the money? Ain't about having a good time in college. Let me show you right here. This is what matters. You don't go to college to have fun. You go to college to make that dollar bill, y'all. This. If you ain't getting, like I said, if it ain't paying, I ain't playing. This is what matters. This is what pays your bills. This is what pays for your house and your kids and your car and your utilities and your cell phone and your memberships and subscriptions. This, not a well-rounded education. Junior Johnson, did I take down the dangerous video about the masks? Well, first of all, Junior, the cheap furnace filters have the fiberglass. The ones I have are not. They're cotton or polyester. They don't have fiberglass. Yeah, you're right, Jim. I have seen people English literature, English degrees, and they can get some really high-profile jobs out of that. But at the same time, I've heard of people who have English degrees, and the job they have is nothing. Now, you look on Dave Ramsey. I've seen a few Dave Ramsey videos where someone had an English degree, and the job they had was, way lower than what they should have been getting, for all the money they spent getting their degree. Have those hundos been laundered and bleached? Yes, they have. I've had these $100 bills in my pocket now for about 2 weeks. They've all been bleached and washed and cleaned. With all the virus going on these days, this is the money I go out of the house with. During the day, if I buy something and I get change, that money goes into a separate pocket. And then I'll bring it home and I'll spray it down with the Windex. And I'll rub it in, both sides, and let it dry overnight. This tin's one of the most recent ones that got that treatment. So I'm off track now. I lost track of what I was thinking about. Wow, we're 20 minutes already. I'm happy to have 5 people on in the middle of the day, and it was totally unannounced. So thank you all for showing up here. So how's this whole virus thing doing for you? What's this? In the London Financial District, all the high rollers have English and French literature degrees or Latin or Greek, of course, with an MBA. Well, I'm sure if you're in a high-profile, white-collar job where you have to deal with people from different countries, then yeah, having some sort of foreign language degree is fine. But unless you know you're going to get a job doing that kind of thing, and you're getting a degree in something that you think is, oh, that degree will be easy to get, I'll have a degree, but it doesn't matter what it's in. That's one thing I have noticed. I have read interviews with employers and recruiters, and sometimes what they have said was they're more interested in that the person has a degree and not so much what that degree is in. I say, well, why would you make it hard on yourself taking the hard classes in college then? You got to have a plan going in. And I know when you're young, it's really hard to know what am I going to be doing in 5 years. I didn't know what I was doing for years and years. And over time, you learn, you see, hey, what's that person doing? I like what kind of job that is. He's playing with the computer stuff. How can I do that? I want to do that. Hey, you, how'd you learn to do what you're doing there? Where'd you go to get your training and stuff? And you learn and you build from that. Tim, give us a list of all the software courses you took. Well, I had an HTML course in my second semester. There was a C++ course, and that was the turning point. I was in about my third or fourth semester at this fly-by-night computer school, and we had a C++ programming course, and we were learning some things, but I felt we were learning 2% of what we had to know to be able to be a programmer. And I had asked the teacher one day, I don't think we can't cover enough in 1 or 2 semesters here. How am I going to get a job off of this? And they said, oh, well, you just have to have a little bit of training here. Once you get a job in it, you'll learn more on the job. So, oh, yeah, I'm sure the employer's going to love that. Yeah. Well, I had, what was the course? Access? It was some database program that hasn't been used. It was barely used back in 2001. And this course, the guy teaching the class, we had no idea what this guy was talking about. And there was maybe 20 people in the class. And a guy who sat next to me had been in this teacher's class before. And he was back again, and he was like the one guy who had some clue of what was going on in this course. And we came time for our final semester exam in this course. You'll like this story. And I was talking to people as we went in for the course, and nobody had any idea what's going on with this thing, So, and I hadn't studied, so I didn't know nothing about it either. And so we were all in the classroom, and we're all taking our final exam. And I'm kind of, just like looking over there, and I'm copying off the guy next to me's paper. I would see what I wrote down for an answer. I would see what he would write down, and I would write down most of his answers. But I changed a few. I don't want to make it too exact, just give me a C or a D or whatever and pass the course and good enough. But as it turned out, I copied answers off of him, and I changed a few answers, but I ended up getting a better score. I don't want this kind of attention. I totally didn't pay attention in this class. How am I one of the highest scoring people in this course? Manny Goldenberg. Hey, Tim from Brisbane. Yay, good for you. Good job. Longshoreman. Hi, how you doing there? Nice to see you. No MCSE? No, I never got that. I went through the Cisco courses here more recently. That was not even until 2015, 2016 that I began with the Cisco CCT routing and switching, the CCENT, and then I completed CCNA routing and switching. And that 3-year certification just expired recently. And I don't know if I'm going to renew it or not. I'm sure my CCNA would have helped me a little bit in getting some of the IT jobs I've had, but to what degree, I have no idea. There were some of the other certifications I looked into, Jim, and studied for a little bit. I read up on them. Like the A plus, the storage plus, but by the time I got through to the first Cisco one, I was already at a level above the A plus. And the Microsoft ones, from what I read, they were so big and complicated, I wasn't even going to get into those things. Okay, I have to focus what I'm saying here. I'm going to get off track. So, whatever degree you're going for in college. Hold on a second here. My laptop just threw up the alert here. It's going to run out of battery. Hold on. Okay, we're on AC power now. Whatever degree you're going for in college, don't just dive in because the recruiters at the college say this is what you should do. Of course they're going to say that. They want to get you in the door and get you paying for classes and taking out student loans to give them more money. Forget their money. Worry about your money. What's going to pay your bills? That's what you go to college for, not to take a $30,000 job, but you're helping people. Forget people. They ain't paying your bills for you. Worry about you. Research. A lot of research, a lot of learning, a lot of thinking and planning and figure things out before you commit to anything. And try to stay out of student loans as much as you can. Well, anyhow, that's my subject for today. What can you do in college? Is it worth it or not? And how to get the most for the least. Remember the LoudMouthTim rules. MMM. Mo money for me. And then the other one today. If it ain't paying, I ain't playing. And of course, the big LoudMouthTim rule. Almost as good and a whole lot cheaper. If you can learn most of this stuff and save yourself a whole lot of money by not actually getting the degree, then maybe that's a better way to do it. Yeah, Jim, schools are companies. They're for profit. And you're right, Alumni Quad. I think back to how I was when I was 18, 20, 23 years old, and I had no clue. I didn't know the first thing what I was going to do. So it's easy for me to stand here now, many years later, and say, oh, this is what you should do. I could have never told myself 10% of this when I was that age. But I have relatives who are in that age, and I try to tell them things, and I might as well talk to the brick wall because they don't listen to a thing I say. He could have had a good job in the electricians union, with health benefits and starting at $15 an hour, but he wouldn't even go take the test. I had a few people I told him about, at least go take the test for the electrician's apprenticeship. Try. And they wouldn't even try. Yeah, you're right, Jim. If a good career requires it, that's one thing. Doctors, engineers, lawyers, yeah, you need it for that. But a lot of other stuff, a college degree is a lot more negotiable now. It's, you may know the things, but if you only need that piece of paper to get the job, well, maybe there's a better way to do it. No, I don't have my own t-shirt storefront. That would be good, huh? We could make it. What would it be? MMM. Mo money for me. That would be good. My own t-shirt storefront. I never thought about that. Yeah, Bill Gates doesn't have a degree. Anyway, you'll have college students or other kids who don't want to go to college. Well, Bill Gates didn't get a degree. Steve Jobs didn't get a degree. Yeah, that's two people. Yeah, they got lucky and things worked out for them. Yeah, you're right. The exchange rate makes them very expensive over there. Well, anyhow, we're coming up on 30 minutes here. And I'm actually surprised we got 4 people on, but what's it? MAMOMO, make more money. Haven't heard of that one. Well, live and learn and try to know now what you won't know until the future. I can't do that too well, but you got to do the best you can. All right, everyone, I'm going to cut this off for right at 30 minutes. Hit end broadcast the first time, and now hit end broadcast the second time. See you later on.